Hi, David from Electric Teaching here, and this is a remake of part 5. I am using a slightly different Python, but don't worry, 2.5 or 2.6 works perfect for this game. Note that 2.5 will have trouble right at the last lesson of this one because of a truncate issue, and it'll be explained when you get to that point. Let's see. I want to make this one quick, but it does have some lots of if statements to explain what we're doing here. I need to move the player around. I need to move the player around. And I'm going to use the up, down, left, and right keys to move it. Okay, so what we've done is we've blitted the player up here. I want to start by putting in a move X and a will be the same as a move y variable, which will be 0. Now I know this is a little bit of a unusual way to initialize the variables, but I'm making both of them 0, so I simply say move x is equal to move y, which is equal to 0. Okay? The move x will be what is the variable that's controlling the player movement. So basically, I'm going to use the move x and manipulate the px and py with those and be able to move the players. Let's come down into the loop. We need to scroll down here and get into the loop. And I need to start adding some things in the part of the loop where we have the keyboard movements. So I'm going to space this down. Probably should have added a comment down here for testing the target positions, but I don't think I did yet. So something to note that I should add a comment later. And right here, the for event, to make sure you understand this part of the loop. Remember, the loop is going forever right now. And so what we say is what Python or Pygame is asking for right now is in this for loop, it's basically saying, have you hit the keyboard or have you used the mouse? And this loop inside of the major loop is just constantly asking, did a key get hit? And that's considered an event in the programming. So what we're going to do is we're going to constantly ask about if an event happened, which is a keyboard, or a mouse movement or a mouse click, and then we're going to ask what event was that with if statements. So let's see. First, very similar to this Pygame quit. Pygame quit, the event type here is a mouse click on the red X, or on a Macintosh, the red close button. And that's what Pygame quit looks for. But we want, I'm going to back up one tab here, scoot down a line. I just want to give myself some room. We want to run an else if. In other words, if somebody didn't click there, we ask else if, and that's an ELIF type, or word, I should say. And what we're doing is we're saying else if was the event, so type event dot type, and you can see Python's pretty smart. It's trying to anticipate all the different things you could put in there, so don't worry about the little pop-up. Pop-up is sometimes very helpful. Double equal always with if statements, because it's asking, it's questioning, is this equal? It's not saying it is equal. That's why it's a double equal way to understand that. And what we want to do is we want to ask, was there a key down movement? You got to use all caps here. Key down command. There's, believe it or not, there's different commands set up for key down and key up. Key down and key up. So if somebody hits a key down, hit return. Don't forget the colon. Make sure it's tabbed in. If it doesn't tab in, you have a syntax error above with the colon or a space maybe. So be very careful there. If it doesn't tab, it's telling you something. Is that event key? Oh, all caps. No all caps here. If, or is that event key is English, or in programming, if the event key that was just selected, double equal, use a capital K. Capital K stands for keyboard item, or a key basically, and then put all caps the word right. If it was the keyboard down click of the right arrow, that's what this is asking. We have a command for it. I need it to change the variable move x to 2. I want it to change by 2 pixels. I want it to change by 2 pixels. So I say move x, which was 0, now make it 2. Now we're going to do this if statement a bunch of times, and if this is typed up correctly, and hopefully it is for you, I think it is for me, hopefully it is for me too, I want to copy it and just not have to retype it each time and get the tabs in there correctly. Blew the tabs on that one. And then what we want to do is just change each one, and it'll be a lot faster than, hang on, than retyping it. So what we've got going now is we've got 4 of the same if statements, but I want to change it. The next word, I'm going to double click. Oh, double click didn't work, so I'm going to carefully highlight the word right or delete the word right, and I'm going to type in caps lock. See, left key. Well, left key, well, left, L-E-F-T, we want to move to the left, and in mathematics as well as programming, that's a negative movement on a number line or on a screen. So we're going to make the move x -2. Bet you're going to guess what I'm going to put right here for the right. Up, up. Are we going to change x? No, we are going to change the y coordinate. So oops, all caps is not what I want there. Got to be careful. So we now have that up has the keyboard command, or the movement command to change the move variable to y, the move y variable to 2. But hang on a second. Up is normally +2, and we are in this programming world which flips that quadrant 1 in mathematics. So -2 is actually moving up, and if that feels backwards to you, then you are showing some good math skills, because normally in math positive is up. And down over here for the move y, we want it to move down 2 or +2, which is down 2, and then we want the all caps down word there. So this is the key down movement, the key down movement. Now, we're not done here. We're not done. We're going to do a little bit more here. Okay, copy the entire else if statement. It just makes your life easier. Copy the whole entire else statement. Do this carefully. Remember, copying and pasting ensures that we have it correctly done, but if you don't copy and paste carefully, check your indents, etc. I was very careful to make sure I pasted with the cursor way over here, for example, to make sure the indents were correct. If we don't do that carefully, then copying and pasting defeats its purpose of being useful and more accurate. All I'm going to do now, and I started already typing, key up instead of key down. This is important. The second we change move x to 2, the second we change move x to 2, we've got it on when we release the key. When you release the key, it's called the key up. We have to change it back to 0, because I'm going to put down a command that says add the move x to px. And if it's looping through and you keep adding move x to px, then it's just going to basically make the player move right off the screen when you hit the right arrow. If you want, you can try it without pasting this in, and it'll do that. So what I'm going to do is already jump the gun on that kind of issue, is that the second we lift the key up, change all the issues, all the variables, all the variables back to 0. So that's all we have to do. We only have really a couple lines left, which is basically moving or changing the px values. Px, which starts in the middle of the screen, will now be moved by the plus move x variable amount. So what happens is if I click the right arrow once, it takes move x and changes it to 2 a millisecond later, and this is milliseconds, faster than you can probably lift up and move down your key. Okay, it's already changed my px value. It loops back up to here and blitz it 2 pixels to the right. When I lifted up the key, it made it back to 0 so that it didn't keep moving it. I hope that makes sense. Let me put in my change for py. Py equals py plus move y. And let's run it. Let's run it. And see if I have any mistakes. Now, if I use left keys, if I hold down the left key, boy, it's, like I said, I can't even make it move 2 pixels because the computer is moving so fast. So if you hold down the keys, it moves around the screen. In fact, if you hold 2 keys down at the same time, I think you can make it move. I just made it move diagonally. So you now have keyboard movement very much like any game. There's no interaction with the star and the spaceship because we haven't programmed it. I'm David from Electric Teaching. I hope this is helping.